How do you become more confident on camera? The answer is in the title. You have to become more confident. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how you can take yourself from maybe a level of uncertainty, maybe, overcoming some of that imposter syndrome, to a level of where you're not just appearing more confident, but you actually are more confident on camera. Now, very early in my career as a health coach, I had the opportunity to do a lot of live television work. I was a very successful personal trainer in Fresno, California. It's the Central California area. And I was picked up by NBC to do a live fitness segment on a show every week for a year and a half. I'll tell you some more stories about that in a little bit. But from there, I'd been on Dr. Phil, Fox, a number of different television outlets, and a number of media opportunities. And really, I had a chance to start sharpening my skills on camera from a very early age. And I will tell you that even with that first opportunity, it was a segment called Get Fit Today. I remember my first time showing up on this segment, and it's the opening day of this new show. All the lights go off in the studio. You hear the countdown, and we're live in 5, 4. I wanted to throw up. I was so nervous. It was a level of anxiety I had never experienced before. But the lights came on. I blacked out, basically, did my thing. And from there, it was really just a lot of downhill. Now, fast forward 15, 20 years later, I've worked with hundreds, maybe thousands of health and wellness coaches, professionals, practitioners, in just a variety of capacities. And I know that one of the barriers that holds people back, if you're watching this and you're finding that, man, I am just experiencing some internal blocks to show up, you're not alone. This is a very common, it's a common barrier. It's a common block for a lot of individuals. And I think it's a combination of imposter syndrome as well as maybe a lack of clarity around what it is that you could or would or should be educated about. So in this video, I'm actually going to give you 3 strategies that you can carry with you to start showing up stronger to become more confident. Now, before I get into the 3 strategies, I want to give you a bonus tip, okay? And that is that part of this is practice. Change, real, true, lasting change doesn't happen overnight. Sure, I want you to experience some of those internal revelations, some of those shifts that really just make a big impact, okay? But just again, this is about practice. You're going to refine your skill set as time goes on, and quite honestly, I want you to understand that refinement, improvement there's always going to be an opportunity for that. Okay, it's never going to stop. Okay, the first strategy that I want you to internalize, I want you to remember this phrase: competence is confidence. Competence is confidence. Okay? And really what this boils down to is about understanding what you could or should be speaking about, what you could or should be educating about, because oftentimes our minds are just too spread out. We're orienting our, let's say, marketing or how we show up around too many different things. So what I want to actually do is help you. I want to give you a little bit of a strategy here to help you define what it is that you should feel confident about, because there are things that you should feel confident about. Now, when I am helping, let's say, a business get off the ground, if you will, or somebody start to build their business from the ground up, we have to understand our niche. We understand our offer, okay? And then it comes down to understanding your brand. Now, what I want you to write down, okay? I want you to write down five brand pillars, okay? 3 are going to be professional. These are the things that you want to professionally educate about. And I want you to pick the things that you feel most confident about. Okay, when it comes to your market or your niche, most people are in health, wealth, or relationships. I want you to identify which of those areas you are in, okay, and pick 3 topics that you can professionally educate people about and that you feel good about. Okay, now I said 5. 3 are professional. 2 are personal. When it comes to showing up on social media, we need to build relatability. We need to humanize ourselves and help people see a little bit more of us, who we are. Okay? And these are the things that you can post about. If you're on Instagram, you could post your stories about things that are going on in your day-to-day life. Family, travel, food. These are different things that are personal to you, but they're not necessarily professional assets that you need to create content around. Okay, so The first thing is just to define what those 3 professional pillars are going to be. And for a while, for a time being, you will feel this for yourself. For a time being, you just post about those 3 things. Those 3 things. You need to become associated with these topics. And keep in mind, you don't have to be an expert in these 3 things. You need to be a guide, not a guru. Okay, strategy number 2 is about taking social media off of the pedestal. Okay? It's about not giving a fuck, honestly, because so many people put so much pressure on themselves to put out the perfect post. They sharpen the axe, they make plans, and they procrastinate. They never actually move forward. I honestly want you to think about, hey, this social media, it's not that serious. I just need to show up. You can create assets, you can create work that you consider maybe to be like a B or a C. Doesn't have to be perfect. One of the biggest factors that prevents people from posting something they actually created is that they're putting too much pressure on themselves. No one post is usually, in 99% of cases, it's not going to make your business and it's not going to break your business. It takes consistently. We need to show up. We need to understand more of the algorithm, I guess I would say maybe more like the customer journey, how we meet and reach new people, how we serve them, how we create assets that communicate value, and then we build relationship from there. But a lot of that starts with just sending it, not putting too much pressure on yourself to have something that's just right, that's just perfect. And even now, I hope that you're nodding, you're like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Remember that. You create something, I don't care. I'm just going to send it off. Good. Okay, this last tip here kind of goes back to my bonus tip about practice. When you are creating, I'm going to call it talking head type of content. It's where the audience can actually see your face, maybe you're speaking. I want you to only look at the camera lens. And when I say camera, I mean like your phone. It's harder maybe on the front of your phone because it's a tiny little lens and it's often not easily seen, but a lot of people are looking down, they're looking at their face. Okay? I want you to look at the lens. In fact, another bonus tip that I often offer students is to turn your phone around and just look at the rear lens of your camera. The camera lens itself in any context, whether it's the phone or an actual camera, it's like your scariest opponent. It's like your worst enemy because you're looking at that camera lens and the only thing looking back at you is you. And you know your deepest insecurities, you know your deepest fears. But if you can practice that, just looking at the lens and speaking to it with confidence, you will overcome your worst enemy. You will overcome that immense barrier. And yes, it does take some practice, but if you combine all of these 3 strategies, understanding what you could or should be speaking about and feeling confident in it, not caring as much what the platform or what people think as much, okay? If you take some pressure off yourself and you work on looking directly into the eyes of your enemy, okay? If you work on that, okay, I guarantee you in a very short amount of time, you will start to develop a new level of confidence that people will really appreciate. They will start to vibe with your content. They'll start to not just see you, not just hear you, but they'll also feel you. If you are ready to start showing up and reaching new audiences, be sure to check out my other video, How to Find Your First Paid Coaching Clients. I outline some awesome strategies that will help you get going and get moving forward fast. Hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Jeremy Baruman. I'll see you on the next one.